In recognition of the high quality of our programs and the excellent quality assurance mechanisms, the University of Technology Jamaica has been awarded institutional accreditation from the University Council of Jamaica.
This confirms that our courses are at an international standard. Graduates can seamlessly gain employment and further their studies locally and abroad.
At UTech, we remain committed to excellence in education, and we look forward to a bright future. Join us.
Apply today. The University of Technology Jamaica, the birthplace of greatness.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valdemar Wallace, and I'll be the moderator for today. Before we begin formally, let me just apologize for the late start. We pride ourselves here at the university in being responsive to the needs of our students. And if it means that we have to delay a little bit to ensure that 100% of those who are online or on the campus can be facilitated, we will do so. So please, we ask that you bear with us. I know you're new to the campus, you're new to the experience, but what we can assure you out of this one is if we have to move mountains just to get you to have a better experience, we'll do so. So now that we have gone a little into the time to the start, I don't want to hold up the program anymore. I know we have been a little anxious. I am anxious too. I was once a university student a very, very, very long time ago. So now it is for me to reminisce less on my experience and try to create an environment where you can have a much better one. Now, we have had some challenges, and I think the best way to overcome those is by invoking the presence of the Lord. So without further ado, I will turn over to Mr. Clayton Moore, who will invite the presence of the Lord into our program so we can have a much better experience. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this morning. Father, we thank you that, Lord, all good things come from you, and your word says to us that you work everything together for our good, to those who love the Lord. Father, we are taking this as a life lesson that many of our students, to come prospective students, Lord God, Father, who have been through so many, Father, we have seen the world, Jamaica and the world have seen the pandemic of COVID, and certainly it has taught us many things. We are mindful, O Lord, as we live, that there will be other tests to come. And we thank you, Lord, that you are forever by our side and you will not forsake us nor leave us. Father, we pray a special prayer for our incoming students, Lord. We pray that you may guide them. We pray that you may lead them. We pray that you may provide for them. We pray, oh Lord, that they may keep their minds focused on you, because you said you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. We have, Lord, taken some time, but we are hopeful and expectant that what we will do and say here this morning and this afternoon will be to the benefit to the students. And Father, so we pray that they may hear, Father, that they may listen and that they may act accordingly. We thank you for them and we thank you for the families. Continue to have your own sweet way. Continue to bless us. Continue to bless this university. Through Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. And again, thank you, Mr. Moore. And again, I'd like to welcome all new students to the University of Technology Jamaica. There's one thing we like to say here: if we didn't create it, we can improve it. So welcome to a brand new technological experience. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Moore again to give the opening remarks. He just spoke to us. He invoked the presence of the Lord here. But he is a very special person. His name would be the name at the bottom of your acceptance letters. So congratulations to everyone who is here. And you would have heard from Mr. Moore in writing. So let us hear from Mr. Moore in speech. Mr. Moore, can you give the opening remarks, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Wallace. And let me just say that Mr. Wallace is an alumnus of the university, and in fact, one of our past students union president who did very well. He did not know that I was going to say this. And so we lift him up as a very good example a graduate of UTech. And so, Mr. Wallace, thank you very much for the hard work and the things that you continue to do. So we're moving right on, and as we once again apologize to you for the very late start that we have had, and I'm going to be very open with you that because of the rain, we had feared the rain with the equipment, and so we were pushed back. So just to let you know, we try to be open and transparent here at UTech Jamaica. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are here because we have given you an offer. You have been accepted into the University of Technology Jamaica study to pursue a course of your choice, and there's nothing else for you to present to us. And those persons in that category, we consider you that we have given you an unconditional offer. However, there is also another set of persons that we have invited here this morning, and it is the set of persons who have been given a conditional offer, which means that we have received your application, we have received your documentation, and having looked at it, we said we want to take you into the university, but there is something for you to provide to us. For most persons, it means that you may have a subject outstanding, whether it is maths or English, etc. And so we have given you a conditional offer, and once it is that you meet that condition, then you'll be fully accepted into the university. Thirdly, we have also invited persons who begun a course of study at the university, but not at a location or a campus of UTech Jamaica, but with a franchise. And those franchises may be, for instance, Brownstown, Mobile Community College, etc., Portmore. And after 2 years, they are now ready to come to UTech Jamaica campus. And so we have invited all 3 sets of persons to come to hear about enrollment, how it is that you select your classes, how it is your main payment, the subjects many of you might hear from high school, or we call those modules that you have to do. So we thank you very much for choosing UTech Jamaica, and we expect and we know that you will have a rich and rewarding experience. Listen very keenly, because we're going to give you much information. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Now, consistent with the theme today is the experience that we're offering you students in the whole university journey. And why I say that is, university is not a place that you go and you just do some schoolwork and you go back home. No, it's a holistic development process. And to tell us more about this entire process, we have designed this program just to ensure that your experience, and you hear the word experience being used very often because we pride ourselves on the experience that we can offer students. The truth is, we had the option of postponing today's event, but we said to ourselves that we made a commitment, and irrespective of what happens, we will ensure that the commitment is given. And at this point, we would like to pause to welcome Ms. Narda Tomlinson. Ms. Narda Tomlinson. But right before she speaks, the university's registrar would like to bring greetings. So at this point, we'll invite Ms. Marian Brown, the Vice President and University Registrar, to address you. Ms. Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to greet you on behalf of the management and staff of the University of Technology Jamaica at the annual pre-registration forum, and also extend to you our thank you for your patience. First, I want to acknowledge our moderator, Mr. Wallace, Mrs. Crystal McDonald, Client Services Officer from the Students' Loan Bureau, who will speak to you later, Mrs. Carol Richards, the University Chaplain, Mr. Barry Thomas, Deputy Registrar, Mr. Clayton Moore, our Assistant Registrar, Admissions and Enrollment, Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan, who will speak to you later, Director of Student Financing, Mrs. Sandy Lawrence, Prior Learning Assessment Coordinator, Ms. Michaela Peck, Distance Learning and Training Officer, Mrs. Karen Horton-Blair, Students Financial Services Officer, and Ms. Narda Tomlinson, who will speak to you earlier, our Enrollment Officer. I also want to acknowledge all the academic management staff and administrative staff who are here, including deans, vice deans, heads of schools, and faculty administrators and other staff. I wish to acknowledge and thank the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management for the staging of the 13th annual pre-registration forum, which is a staple now on our academic calendar. The pre-registration forum targets our prospective students and franchise transfer students who take the opportunity to pursue studies at our university. We congratulate you on your choice of university. This forum is to provide pertinent information as we seek to facilitate your transition seamlessly into UTech Jamaica. Special greetings to you, our prospective and transfer students, parents and guardians who also have taken the opportunity to join us this morning as you prepare for the university journey. We pride ourselves in continuing to play a critical role in nation building and in regional development. Now, this is evidenced by our mission, which is to positively impact Jamaica, the wider Caribbean, and elsewhere through high-quality learning opportunities for students, research, and value-added solutions to government, industry, and community. Let me take this opportunity to thank our Assistant Registrar Admissions, Mr. Clayton Moore, and the team from the Admissions and Enrollment for making this forum possible today. Our team will share with you information on enrollment process, including module selection, medical process, fee payment options, as well as the student loan. We'll speak to you later. We'll also speak with you about academic advisement and other academic matters. The information on the registration process and academic advisement are also being provided for studies at both the undergraduate and graduate level. Now, your participation is a testament to your keen interest and commitment to attain your education. I am sure that at the end of these sessions, you will be knowledgeable on how to study smart, ensuring you are ready to engage learning, having met all the administrative requirements to making the learning experience as hassle-free as possible. As a result of the ongoing global challenges and the government of Jamaica's instruction for the resumption of face-to-face modality across the education sector, UTech Jamaica will offer its course of study for this academic year, utilizing a blended approach. We will offer the online blended learning, which combines in-person and online delivery of classes. Now, this university is dynamic, and so we seek to adapt to changing environment. Now, whether your classes will be facilitated face-to-face or online, the COVID protocols will still be in place at our campus. We therefore ask that you continue to traverse the campus in the new semester with recognizing all the COVID measures. Now, in addition to the committed support of the respective colleges and faculties that you will join, and all the other designated support services, we at the Division of Student Services and Registry have a committed and resilient team who stands ready to provide you with the efficient student support services to complement your student experience. I want to warmly express greetings to you again and to wish you all the best as you transition into our university. Thank you, and I'll hand you over back to our moderator, Mr. Wallace.
Now, at this time, I'd like to pause to welcome Ms. Tomlinson, who I mentioned much earlier, who will now speak to us about the undergraduate registration process. Ms. Tomlinson.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Good morning to our UTech family. Good morning to our new students coming in. You were prospective students, but as Mr. Wallace said, we're going to call you new students. So welcome and thank you for joining us. I'd also like to welcome our franchise students who will be moving across to the UTech Jamaica family full-time. I'd also like to welcome our returning students because we know we have some returning students online who are, just logging in so that they can refresh themselves with the information. Again, I just want to apologize for the late start, and I want to thank you for making it UTech Jamaica. We know you could have chosen to go anywhere in Jamaica across the world to study, and you decided that you wanted to be a UTech night, and we thank you very much for that. As Mr. Wallace said, I will be taking you through a presentation, just an overview of the enrollment and registration process. I hope that you will pay attention, you'll make your notes, and that whatever we will be presenting to you today will be of use to you during your tenure here at UTech. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the guide to enrollment. And I just want to thank you again for choosing UTech Jamaica. Now, first, all students should be able to select their modules once they have made payment of their enrollment commitment fee. Now, your enrollment commitment fee is $30,000, and we don't have a deadline date for you to pay. However, we would like to ensure that you make this payment before enrollment begins. So it's very important. So our persons who received an offer of a place, the persons who received a straight unconditional acceptance to UTech, as well as our returning students or franchise students who will be coming on stream and will be selecting modules for the very first time. The payment is $30,000, and we ask that you make the payment before the start of the enrollment process. Now, the enrollment process, will start, or the enrollment period will open on the 8th of August. All right, so understanding your enrollment. First, we ask that you receive academic advisement. Once this session ends, you will be asked to join your college or faculty's academic advisement session, and they will take you through course-specific information that you need to have on hand in preparation for your start of your school year in August. Now, academic advisement, after that has been completed, then you will move on to select your modules. Now, during your academic advisement session, you will receive your module selection guide. Now, the module selection guide has a list of modules that are to be completed throughout your tenure here, and it's broken down via your semesters, whether or not they are prerequisites for another module. So it's very important that you ensure that you receive your module selection guide so that you can select the modules that are required within the specific periods. After you have selected your modules, we ask that you view your timetable just to ensure that everything is okay. Once you are all right with the modules that you have selected, you're okay with the timetable, then you will move on to confirm those modules. And after confirming the modules, your fee breakdown will be generated. And the fee breakdown is specifically saying to you, this is the amount that you need to pay for the semester, and it gives you a breakdown of the cost of each module and the total. Once you have completed your module selection, you have received your fee breakdown and you're aware of the payment that should be made, we ask that you subtract the $30,000 that you would have paid for the enrollment commitment fee. That fee actually forms a part of the tuition. So once you get the total fee breakdown, then you make that subtraction and pay the difference. Within 2 working days of completing that process, you will receive financial clearance. Now, financial clearance indicates that you can now move on to the next stage of the module selection process, which is to complete the online enrollment steps. Now, these steps, a link will be sent to your entry, and that entry will have a message that says, click here to enroll. Once you click on that message, we will just ask you to confirm information that you would have provided to us once you were submitting your application. So it's just to confirm, your address, your telephone number, contact persons, your next of kin, and so on. Once you have moved through that process, we also ask that you just review the modules that you have selected, and as well as acknowledging the university's policies and regulations. It's very important that you read it clearly so that you have an understanding of the policies and procedures of the university and you can be guided by them. We will also share with you a statement of liability, which is a breakdown of your fees and how these fees can be paid or when they should be paid. We will have a presentation from our finance department that will take you through in detail as it relates to how your fees are calculated. Another step in the enrollment process is to do your medical. Now, your medical, you have the choice of doing it at our medical center, or you can choose to go to your own physician to have it done. And that once you complete the medical form, we will ask that you send it in, and I will share information as we go along. And once the medical is completed, the final step in the enrollment process before you are considered a registered student is the identification. After the medical has been completed and returned to our medical center, we will send your information to our ID services department, and you will be asked to come in to take your photo for your ID. Now I'm going to go back through in detail the steps that I just shared with you. Now, when you're logging into the portal, onto the website, you would look to the top right-hand corner of the screen and you will click on the student tab. Now the student tab will take you to another page, and where you see in the center of the page, web applications, you click on the eVision portal link. Once you click on that link, you'll be taken to the eVision Students portal, where you will be asked to log in using your ID number or your applicant number that we would have shared with you in your acceptance letter or your letter of offer of a place. That number is your ID number, and it's very important that you know that number. It is used to identify you throughout your lifetime here at UTech. If you're entering the portal for the very first time, you will use your date of birth in the the day, month, and year, and only the 2 digits are required. Now, as I said before, once you log in, you'll be asked to select your module. So this is where you go to select your modules. When selecting modules, you would look for the module code. It has 3 letters and 4 numbers assigned. And that's why it's very important that you receive your module selection guide so that you know what it is that you should look for when you have logged in to select your modules. When selecting your modules, you'll only be selecting the lecture sessions, and our system will automatically place you in the corresponding tutorials or practicals that are assigned to these lectures. Each module are assigned credits, Some may be 2, 3, or 4 credits. And so the minimum amount of credits that we're asking you to select in semesters 1 and 2 is 9, and the maximum is 21. For our summer session, the minimum is set to 1 and the maximum 21 credits. Not all students are required to do a summer session, but if you do choose to select modules for the summer, the minimum of credits required for the submission of your selection is set to 1 and the maximum 0. Sorry, 21, my apologies. And as I said before, once you have selected your modules, you have viewed your timetable, you're okay with the setup, then your fee break, once you click submit and confirm, your fee breakdown will be generated. And as I said before, the fee breakdown will include your credits for the modules, how those are costed. The finance department will go through in their presentation, and it also has ancillary fees as well. So your health card fees, your student union fees, all of those are calculated in your ancillary fees, and it makes up a part of your tuition. After you have received the financial breakdown of your tuition, then you would log out of the portal. And as I said before, the finance department will give their presentations. Once you have confirmed and selected modules, generated your fee breakdown, and you have logged out, you would return in 2 working days, just so you can complete the 10-step online enrollment process. And this is just showing you what it would look like once you log into the portal. The entry has the message that says, click here to enroll. Once you click on that, you just read through and follow the steps until you have become a registered student. Now, I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment so that I can take you through to the website and show you our, how you can log in. Okay, so this is where you would log in. As I said before, you would go onto the UTech Jamaica website, and right here, the top right-hand corner of the screen where it says students, you would click that link and it takes you to this page. In the center where it says web applications, you click on eVision portal. And that is where you will see this screen come up, where it is, you would log in using your ID number, as I stated, along with your password. If you're logging in for the very first time, it is your date of birth. So I'm just going to log in as a student so that you can see what is happening, or what you can have an experience of what you should be seeing when it's your turn to log in. Okay, so you would have used your date of birth to get in. At this point, because the demonstration that I'm using would have been a current student, if you're going to log in for the first time, it's going to ask you to change your password. So you will just change it to anything that you are sure you will remember. Don't share your password with anyone. It's very important that you alone have control of your student portal, and you are responsible for the modules that you're selecting. So now I'm going to enter my date of birth. So I'm going to enter the day, the month, and the year, the 2 last digits of the year. And at this point, your course of study would come on screen, and it would have taken you to the module selection page for you to make your selections. Okay, so as I said before, this area, I'm not sure if you can, zoom in on your screen, and you will see in the computer screen, this is what you will be seeing after you would have changed your password, this screen will come up. And as I said before, you use your module selection guide so that you can look for your modules. Remember, it has module codes that are assigned to each module. The module code is made up of 3 letters, 4 numbers, and then you'll have the name of the module as well. Now, after you have become a registered student, there are additional information that you need to have just before you start your journey here at UTech. Now, if you have been to another tertiary institution before, don't worry, those credits that you would have earned will not go to waste. You can transfer those credits to your course of study here at UTech, and the way of doing that is via transfer of credits. Now, the forms can be found online. You would, as I said, go through academic advisement with your academic advisor or your program director. This is where you would let them know that I have studied or I have started studying at another institution. I have earned credits and I would like those credits to be transferred to UTech. They will guide you through the process. So the forms can be found online. They also have some forms in your school offices. So you can download the forms from the website and you can complete them with the modules that you would have done at that previous institution, as well as the corresponding or equivalent modules here at UTech. You complete that form, you submit it to your school office, and then your program director, as well as other module coordinators, will review the form to determine whether or not the credits are equivalent and if you can receive transfer of credits in order for you not to resit that specific module in your new course of study. Now, if you have not studied at another tertiary institution before, but you have worked in a specific area, you have experience, and there are certain modules that you believe that this experience can equate to the credits that you would earn in sitting in that module, you can also transfer those credits. However, that process is called module exemptions. The difference between a transfer of credits and module exemptions is that transfer of credits, there are no costs applied. So that process is free and it is done once upon entry to your course of study here at UTech. Now, the module exemption, it's not free, I'm sorry. There is a cost applied, so you will pay for the module that you're trying to have the credits transferred, and you complete the form just as you would with the transfer of credits. It's available online. You download it, print it, complete it, and you submit it to your school office with your supporting documents. Now, for the persons who would have studied at another tertiary institution, you would your supporting documents would come in the form of a transcript. That transcript must be sealed and it must be an official transcript from the institution. For the persons who would be using their work experience or their knowledge in a particular area to seek transfer of credits from a module, your supporting document would need to be your job description, include as well as a letter from the organization stating, your duties, your years of experience, and so on. For some of our science students, you may be able to use some of your CAPE passes in order to receive module exemption from some of our foundation courses. So you can find out from your school, your program director, your academic advisor, during your academic advisement session, what modules you can use from your CAPE passes to gain transfer of credits, module exemptions from certain modules here at UTech. We also have a process called add drop. And this is for students who, after you have selected your modules, you may need to make a change, whether it be that you need to remove a module from your selections, or you need to add a module to your selections. Now, that process is available to you. What you would need to do is to get a password from one of our technicians on campus, and you can send an email to Tier 1 support, that's TIER, the number 1, support at utech.edu.jm. So you can send an email with your name, your course of study, your ID number, and you ask for a password so that you can access the online add-drop platform. Now, similar to where you would find the link to enter your students portal, the online add-drop link is in that section of the screen where it says web applications under the student link of the university's website. Now you would log in using your password that you would receive from Tier 1 support, as well as your ID number. And you read through and follow the instructions. You would enter the module code, or you will search through a list of modules that we have there to select the module that you are requiring to be removed or to be added to the selections that you would have already made. As I said before, the medical is a very important part of the enrollment process. And remember, after you've selected modules, confirmed these modules, you've received your fee breakdown, you would have logged out, waited the 2 working days to re-enter the student's portal to complete the 10-step online process. You can, in those 2 days or even after, ensure that you complete your medical. The medical form is also available on the website. As stated earlier, you have the option of visiting our medical center to have your medical done, or you can go to your own physician to have your medical completed. So we're asking that you download the form, print it, complete the document, have the medical done, have the form completed and signed and stamped by the physician, and then you email the form along with your diagnostic test results and a copy of your immunization card to studentmedical@utech.edu.jm. So I'll repeat, once you have completed your medical, the form has been completed, signed, stamped by your physician. You email the form along with copies of your diagnostic test results, whatever test it is that you had to do during the medical, you would submit copies of that along with a copy of your immunization card. Email that to studentmedical@utech.edu.jm. Once it is received, we will respond and acknowledge receipt of this email within 5 working days. Your name will be shared with our ID services department once we have processed your medical, and then you will be contacted and told when to come in to take the photos for your ID. So I'm asking you, please ensure that you pay attention to your emails. It is the main way in which the university will correspond with you. If there are changes to your email address, your telephone number, I'm asking that you contact the admissions office so that we can have that information updated to ensure that you miss nothing from us once we are ready to communicate with you. And as I said before, the information will be shared with our ID services department once you have completed the medical. And when we send an email to let you know that the processing has been complete, then you will be asked to proceed to the ID services department. They are located on the ground floor of the main administration building at the University of Technology, and that is where you'll take your photograph for your ID, and that will be the last step in your enrollment process. You would have now become a registered student and you will be ready to go for the new academic year. Just a tip to let you know that the ID should last for your 4 years while you are here at UTech. However, if you lose it, there is a cost to replacing it. So please take care of your IDs, guys. And as I said, that's the last step. Once you have done that, you would have successfully completed your enrollment and registration process, and you would have become a registered student. So congratulations to anyone. Once the system opens August 8th, I'm asking you, you go in, you ensure that you follow the steps. There is an enrollment video that is on the website as well. So once you go onto our website and you click on the admission section at the top, or you can use quick links and click on enrollment, you go to new and returning students, and you go to undergraduate checklist, and the enrollment video is right there. It takes you through the entire step from starting up the web page, searching for UTech, logging in. It goes through every scenario you can think of when selecting modules, and it gives you the remedy as well on how to set up a clash-free timetable. So the video is very comprehensive. I encourage everyone to watch that video just to make yourself aware of the entire enrollment process. Before I hand back to Mr. Wallace, I would just like to ask that you complete the questionnaire that is in the description below for this forum. Also, we have included a first-year survey. So I'm asking all our first-year students just to go to the description box, or you can go to the pre-registration forum webpage on the website and complete the first-year survey as well. I believe that we will also be including the link in the chat, so it is easy for you to access. We will take questions at the end once we have the time to do so. And we also have representatives in the chat that are willing to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you again for choosing UTech Jamaica, and I wish you every success in your studies and all the best for the upcoming academic year. I'll hand back now to Mr. Wallace.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Narda. So now we know the process that we need to go through to become a fully enrolled, fully registered, certified University of Technology Jamaica student. And I just want to pause 1 second. When you come here, I want you to understand very carefully that your experience matters to us. It matters to us so much so that we even have an office called the Office of the Customer Service Advocate, dedicated to ensuring that your experience is a very good one. Right now in the chat, if you ask a question, we have a lot of our agents on standby, just responding to anything that you need. And this is just a small taste of what you'll get when you start the university. So again, if you're not having a good experience, find someone and report it. You can even report it to me. I'm always somewhere in the sculpture park or somewhere in the auditorium. You can find Mr. Moore, you can find our customer service advocate, find anyone, but please, if your experience is not good, let us know so we can improve it. As Narda spoke about how we can become a fully enrolled, fully registered student, we also have alternative means that we can use. So, for those persons who you've been in the field of work for a while and say, I need to go back to school and I've been working for all these years. Don't let your working years go to waste. At this point, I'm going to invite Mrs. Sandy Lawrence from the Prior Learning Assessment Unit to tell us the alternative ways that we can seek to advance our education and become one of those pride and beaming and joyful University of Technology students later on in society. At this point, Mrs. Lawrence, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to say congrats to all our new students, our returning students, our franchise students. Congrats for having made it to the birthplace of greatness. You are in the right place. And as was just said, we hope to make your experience unforgettable and in a good way. So I'm going to be sharing briefly with you just how you can accelerate through your program. So you have matriculated so far, most of you at least. I think some of you may still be waiting on an unconditional offer, but we know you're gonna get it eventually. And so you have matriculated, and I'm gonna be sharing with you just how you can accelerate through your program. Narda did speak about transfer of credits and exemptions, but I'm here to share with you another way that you can not have to pursue modules the normal way. So you might be wondering, how is that possible? So let me just bring you up to speed with prior learning assessment and just what that involves. So prior learning assessment is an internationally recognized system of assessment. It allows for the identification, documentation, assessment, and recognition of prior learning experiences. And notice it is not something that UTech came up with on its own. It is internationally recognized, and it is practiced in most first world countries. So we are just trying to extend the option to our students as well. And so it provides opportunity for the more mature student to obtain module exemptions based on learning that they've acquired through work and life experiences. And this will allow you to accelerate through your course of study without pursuing modules for which you have already mastered the competencies. So who qualifies for this? Well, our registered students with at least 3 years of relevant work experience, and also persons who have acquired academic qualifications prior to 7 years ago. So I'm not sure if Narda had mentioned it, but in order to get transfer of credits for modules you've already completed, you'd have to have completed them within the last 7 years. But we know that persons would have started studying years before and then went off into the world of work, and now they want to finish up. And so they can't pick up where they left off. And so we offer persons like those the opportunity to challenge some of the modules in the current course of study and offer them the option to obtain credits for these modules. So the ways in which this can be done by a portfolio development or a challenge exam. And each of these will be assessed by a qualified member of faculty. Now you might be wondering what the portfolio involves. It is actually a compilation of documents which describe the learning experiences and competencies acquired elsewhere, but which would be deemed equivalent to the expected learning outcomes and competencies of modules offered at UTech. And the challenge exam is really a test instrument, which is designed to measure knowledge outcomes at a particular level of academic achievement. And it will allow you to demonstrate your knowledge, your comprehension, your ability to apply, to analyze, to evaluate, and to synthesize as it relates to the learning outcomes of particular modules within your course of study. Now, how do you proceed? First of all, you need to contact the PLA unit. If you think you have the relevant experience, at least 3 years of relevant work experience, or you have that academic exposure that you achieved prior to 7 years ago, you can reach out to us and let us have a conversation to see how best we can guide your process and help you to accelerate. Now, the unit will assist you along with your program director as you seek to select the appropriate modules for challenge. This is not something that you'll be doing on your own. You will be provided with sufficient advisement. Now, once approval for the challenge process is obtained, you'll be expected to complete the application for module exemptions, sign the PLA contract, and pay the required fees. And the PLA unit will provide additional guidance along the way. And so, what should you do next? If you find that you are in a position where you have been working in industry, you have this wealth of experience, you don't want to come and sit and learn the same things all over again, contact us. Reach out to me. The number is 927-16808, extension 3394 or 2549, or you can drop me an email at sandy.lawrence@utech.edu.jm. So I said I would have been brief. so I am being brief. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandy. I hope we would have found would have gained a lot of new knowledge based on what Mrs. Lawrence shared with us. And also for those persons who have been in the world of work, once you start the University of Technology, it is not a case where you are now abandoning all that you have done in furtherance of your education. You can actually use all that you have done so far. So, you get up, you go to work 8 and you go back home 4. You can not only be paid for that, that's what your employees are for. You can use it to fast track your learning experience here and spend less time here. So I'm looking forward to seeing more persons utilizing the prior learning assessment unit. And, a part of the experience here is paying fees, and not many persons like to pay, like lose money. I'm one of them, and I'll say it proudly. I am very, very conservative when it comes down to finances. But thanks to our well-equipped finance unit, and more specifically, our Department of Student Financing, we're able to ensure that the payment process for you is as smooth as possible. The adjustment process here, because it's a really, really big step, and to walk us through the entire process in a user-friendly way to ensure that anything that you want to know, you can find out in a short space of time. I'm going to invite Ms. Terian Rule. She is the Student Welfare Officer here at the University of Technology, and she's also a member of the Department of Student Financing. Ms. Rule is in Zoomland, and she will walk us through, she's going to tell us a lot of things that we are going to be required to know once you start the university to make your life much simpler and smoother. Ms. Rule, can you guide our brand newly minted students through a process that will make life much easier for them, please? I now turn over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Wallace, and thank you so much for your welcome. All right. So good afternoon. I was going to say morning, but good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to the University of Technology, Jamaica. We're very happy to have you here. As my colleague said, you could have chosen to be anywhere else, but you are here, and we are very happy to have you. You're moving on to bigger and better things. You're at a college, so things going to get much, much better now, right? All right, so let me tell you about the Department of Student Financing. Our mission is to positively impact the lives of our students through the provision of efficient, responsive, administrative, and financial support services. We believe that you will achieve and we will assist. All right, so we're here to support all your academic pursuits. So who are we really? So we are the Student Financial Services, the Student Welfare Unit, and the Scholarships and Bursary Units. So the Student Financial Services, we speak about the fees, fee payments, that sort of a thing. Student Welfare helps you with welfare grants, meal, jobs, that sort of a thing. And the scholarship, as the name suggests, deals with scholarships and bursaries, all right? So, we always need to have a plan. Now, like we love to say plan B, but sometimes you have a plan A. So therefore, you're going to need a plan B. But if plan B don't work, you may need a plan C. You may reach all the way down to Z, but you need to have a plan. All right? We need for you to be proactive. All right? This thing is in my way. Let me move it. We like our students to be proactive. Do your research. You need to ensure that you pull out all the stops so that you're in the know and is ahead of the game at all times. You need to remember that although tertiary education brings significant rewards, it does so at a great cost. And we know this. All right, so be prepared to invest not only money, but time and effort. All right, so first let's talk about semesterization. Of course, UTech operates on a semesterized system, and we have 3 academic sessions. All right, so students will select the number of modules they want to use or pursue in each semester. Each module has an assigned number of credits, so whether it be 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5, dependent, then you will multiply the cost per credit by the number of credits, and that's equivalent to your module cost. All right, so student can take up to 9 credits per semester or a maximum of 21. All right, so how do you determine your tuition fees? All right, so first you select the module you wish to pursue for the semester. And then you will add the costs of each module to get the tuition cost for that semester. You want to check the credit weighting for each module, because we said some of them have some 1, 2, 3 credits at a certain cost, so depending on how much credits, and then the cost per each credit. And then this will add, you will know, after you do that multiplication, you'll add your annual miscellaneous fees in order to get the total fees. All right, to determine each module cost, you multiply the cost per credit times the number of credits. All right, so the total fees at the end is reflected on your invoice, is a total which is to be paid by the university's census day. So now that we say census day, this thing is out in my way. How do I remove it? I put it on the bottom. All right, so we ask our students to read. I know, like myself, we always don't like to read, but it is important that we do. So you want to read and ask the right questions. So what are the fee payment policies at the University of Technology, Jamaica? So we have a full payment plan and a part payment plan. We have deadlines and timelines that are associated with those payment plans and conditions. So you want to ask yourself, is there a gap in my finances? How much did I save? Is this enough? Are the funding options available to me that they have no repayment? So if you're going to get a grant or a bursary, something like that you wouldn't have to pay back. What credit or loan facilities can I access? Would you like to go to a bank? Would you go to a credit union? You need to find out beforehand. And finally, what options exist through the SLB? And the SLB is here, and I'm sure they'll discuss further about this. All right, so how would we fill this gap? The gap that you found, how would you fill this gap? Do I have a contingency plan? If I'd planned on getting some money from my mother, but then she said, you know what, I had to use the money to do something else. What and where would you get this additional funds? Am I prepared to carry less modules over a longer period of time? Am I prepared to stay at UTech an additional semester in order to pay less per semester? So we want to ensure that you are prepared to carry it. So you need beforehand to know, is it okay? All right, so let's talk about the budget. So since we're going to ensure this now, we need to look at our budget. What are the possible sources? So your mother gave you some money, you did save, the earnings that you get from work, a gift from your godmother, a scholarship that you may have researched and found out long before you decided to go to university, or some bursary or a loan from the bank or SLB. All right, and your expenditures, all the possible expenses, the tuition, your boarding fee, because if you don't live in Kingston, you may need to board. On campus, off campus, you may need to pay rent. Books and school supplies, very important. Some faculties have labs and field trips, you need to take that into consideration. And there are also meal and transportation. Some people don't think about it, but you may need to eat. And if you are living somewhere, that's where you may need to reach, okay? All right, so let's talk about tuition fees. All right, so the first part of your tuition fee is the miscellaneous or ancillary fees. This is mandatory. So your miscellaneous fees are mandatory fees paid once in your first semester only, right? That's of each academic year. So the first semester you paid, and it must be paid by all students, including SLB and scholarship students. As I said before, it's during the first semester. So your first semester may be semester 1, semester 2, even summer. It depends on when you're coming. But whenever you reach and decide to start, you have to pay your miscellaneous fees. All right. And it's non-refundable. Some persons may not be aware. I myself, I received calls from persons saying if they can get back the money, and if not, if they can transfer it to their sister, cousin, auntie. No, you cannot. It's non-refundable once you pay it. The university has it, and that's it. It's not, can't get it back. I'm so sorry. All right, so the components of the miscellaneous fee. You may ask, what is this fee and what does it entail? So it's your health insurance. This is your contribution to your health insurance, personal accidents and life insurance, jam copy licensing fee. That's for the library. You want to copy books and so on. We have the fee. We have to pay a fee for that. There's a student welfare fund contribution. There's a student union dues, and also specific to some faculties, but the law library for persons doing law, access journal, and ebooks. All right, so go back to the enrollment commitment deposit versus the miscellaneous fee. There's a difference. The ECD, as we call it, is not a separate charge from your tuition. It's the first payment towards the overall tuition, though. And it represents a deposit on your account, which must be paid each semester, as I said before. It indicates your commitment to enroll for the semester. So you're saying to the people, listen, I'm paying this money because I'm coming to school. All right. Well, the miscellaneous fee is a collection of the small fees that I spoke about before, and those are mandatory. So it's charged once per academic year in your first semester. Is a separate charge from your tuition. The ECD payment goes towards the miscellaneous fee in your first semester. I do hope I'm clear. All right, the ECD for the 2022-23 academic year is $30,000 Jamaican or $275 US. It gives students access to select your modules at the beginning of registration. So once you pay your ECD, you can go ahead and select your modules. The ECD is not a separate fee, as I said before. Instead, it forms a part of your overall tuition payment and is used firstly towards your miscellaneous fees. All right, so let's talk about the census day. For semester 1 and 2, the census day is going to be September 30th. It's one of the most important dates, students. You need to remember, write it down. You need to remember it. So the census day is the final day for students to indicate their intention to enroll in that semester. So this allowed the university to know and to plan for teaching and learning activities. Remember, how much students are coming would be a deciding factor on how much lecturers we need, how much classroom we need to schedule, the light bill that we need to plan for, and that sort of thing. So you need to let us know, and that's how the census day would come in, so we can know by that time. Early registration ends at census day. Late registration begins after census day and attracts a fee penalty. So your ECD payment should be done in advance of the census day to allow for 2 working days. So if this Friday the 30th, you may want to pay by the 28th of September, giving yourself 2 working days so that the system can update you accordingly. All right, so let's talk about the payment plans, because I know a lot of persons are waiting on this. So for this academic year, 22-23, we have option 1, which is usually pay all of it one time by census day, 100%. And guess what? You receive a rebate of 2% and avoid all fee penalties. All right, option 2 is 30-30-40 plan. That's what we call it. So you pay 30, first installment of 30 will be due by the census day, which is September 30th. But so students using the payment plan for the first installment, it is due on the 30th of September. The second installment is due on the 31st of October, and the third installment is due on November 30th, 2022. If you're late to the first installment, there's a penalty of $10,000 Jamaican or US $100. If you're late for your second installment, there's also a $10,000 penalty or $100 US. For the third installment, delinquency fee of $10,000 will be added, or US $100 is charged per month to a max of $20,000 or US $200. Hope I'm clear. All right, so I know some persons want to know about the reward system. If you pay your tuition on time, because we're talking about things that can happen if you don't pay on time. If you pay on time, pay in full, you get cash back, a 2% rebate on your tuition only. automatic clearance to sit your exams. If you use a payment plan, you obviously save some money, right? Because you would not have any facility fees or late payments, anything like that if your payment is made on time. So access to class with payment of the ECD, automatic clearance for exam, all those things will happen. All right, so let us talk about SLB funded students. So as I said before, SLB will discuss further, but we have to give our little 2 cents. So you pay your miscellaneous fee in full, of course, or your ECD miscellaneous fees. That will be paid in full. As you know, that section pays your small fees and it's mandatory. All right. And you follow the guidelines and conditions of the SLB agreement. So don't just pay your miscellaneous fees and just the SLB is going to pay. No, go back and look at the guidelines and conditions of the loan, of your loan agreement. It's very important. Persons often forget. It's very important for you to pay attention to. All right, so first of all, you must pay out of pocket for that. Usually SLP does not pay that, and so you'll have to pay for that. But if you fail a module, you will have to pay for that out of pocket. And if you're doing any 0 credit courses or modules, like fundamentals of accounting or fundamentals of there's some other fundamentals. If you are going to pay, it's 0 credit, you'll have to pay for it yourself. All right, lose loan funding. So you lose your loan funding for the academic session if you go on a leave of absence, withdraw, go on medical leave, and don't say anything at all to SLB. You need to communicate with SLB because remember, they're paying your tuition and their conditions. So you need to ensure that if you get sick and you have to stop and don't bother go, make sure SLB know. If you decide to say, no, bother go college for some reason and you will withdraw, SLB needs to know. Right? You need to let SLB know. All right. So number 3, you will also lose your loan funding for the entire program if you fail to go above the GPA of 1.5. All right. If you go below 1.5 at all, they will not be giving you back the loan. If you change program without SLB. So if you're in, for example, engineering and you said you don't want to be an engineer anymore, you want to go over to FELS and be a teacher instead. This is something you need to communicate to SLB because you can't just change program without communicating. All right. All right. So UTech, Jamaica, and SLB have a partnership. This is our way of assisting our students to process their loan effectively and efficiently and quite quickly. So we're saying that after you submit your applications online, then, you make sure you do everything you need to do. Then when you have your certified documents, guarantor documents, you can drop it off at your faculty or college. And then the faculty of colleges will collect it and verify the packages. Then the Department of Student Financing will submit this to SLB for fast approval. So if you are taking SLB, you can work with your faculties who will work with us because we'll train them in that way so that they know what to collect from you and send them to SLB and fast approval. All right. All right. So with all I've said, I'm going to go to the different sections now as it relates to the scholarship and bursary. I know some persons don't know, but we're going to let you know now that we have over 100 scholarships available annually. All right, offered by the support of public and private sector partners. So these entities go ahead and offer scholarships and we support them. So scholarships are also offered for most of the program of studies. Students need to have a GPA of 3.0 or above, that is B. So academic performance is important. You need to have a financial need. So they will focus on persons who have a financial need. You need to have co-curricular activities, man, that word. It means that you need to be involved. You need to be a whole, I love to say you need to be a whole student. You can be bright like Morning Star, but you still need to understand that you need to be involved and doing other things to make yourself quote unquote complete as a student. Volunteerism, leadership, involvement across campus or in your community is a plus, and they will interview you, and you will also be judged based on your interview performance. So the scholarship office is located on campus here at Townhouse number 3, across from the backfield right beside the auditorium. And you can visit that section on UTech website and just follow the listing, and you'll see all the scholarships that are available. All right, we also have the student welfare grants that are offered, and a part of your miscellaneous fee, if you may have noticed, there was a student welfare fund. So that fund, students contribute to that fund, and that fund creates the pooled contribution, it creates this fund that we use to assist students. So it's available to the most needy students. So it's not a lot of money, as you might have noticed. If everybody giving us a little portion, we can't assist everyone. So it's for the most needy students and are facing severe financial distress. And applications are open after Census Day, because remember, you're contributing to the fund. That is October of each year. All right, so it must be able to demonstrate your need. Can't just send the form and say, I want some money to pay my school fee. Why do you need this money? What happened? What caused you to be in this situation? You must be able to demonstrate that need. And you must have an acceptable referee. Somebody to speak on your behalf, your pastor, your JP, for example. All right, so we offer assistance with tuition, books, lunch, transportation. You can also go on the UTech website and follow let me move this thing again in the way. Right, so you go to admissions and enrollment, then you go to student financing, then financial aid, and then you see the grant form, and you can go ahead and fill it out, submit it by October of this year, 2022. All right. So finally, let's talk about the Earn and Study program. So students are able to earn on campus. So we have the Earn and Study, gives you additional funds. It's not a lot, as I love to say, but it is money that you never had before. You can gain valuable experience, building your resume in the process, and also networking, finding out, other professionals and build a network. All right. Work is flexible around your class schedule in semester 1 and 2. Sorry. And first-year students are not usually allowed to work in the semester 1 and 2, but they are allowed to work in the summer of their first year. In summer, however, students can work a 40-hour work week. Final year students are not allowed to work in semester 1 and 2 of their final year, but they can work in the summer also. All right. Convenient payment locations. So the Paymaster, Bill Express, Jamaica National Bank, and the NCB Online. These locations update immediately. So there are others, but these are the ones that are most convenient, and we are pointing you in this direction. So please do not go ahead and transfer from your account and go to the ATM and lodge it in an account. No, don't do that. The money will go to UTech and go in a big pool of money, and we don't know who gave us and why it is there. And so it just stays there until we finally use it. All right. All right. So finally, identify and secure your funding source. It's very important. You want the SLB, you want to get a loan, you want to get a scholarship, you need to identify that beforehand. Enroll early before Census Day. Don't be rushing. By Census Day, you don't know what to do with yourself because you never did, put things in place. Choose the best payment option for you. The best payment option for you. Pay on time and avoid all penalties. I believe that is the best, because this additional $20,000 or $30,000 that you may need to pay, you really don't have that at this time. So you want to make sure that could be going towards something else. So move on seamlessly through the academic, towards your academic pursuits, and ensure that you follow it. Pay attention, read, research, and ensure that you have a wonderful academic life at the University of Technology, Jamaica. That is it. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions, or are we holding the questions to the end? Mr. Wallace?
Hi, good afternoon, Terry.
Yes, I'm hearing you
questions are
now.
actually in the chat, you know. So
Oh, can you help me out?
Like to
Mrs. Horton Blair. Mrs. Horton Blair is here. Mrs. Blair, are you here?
And Miss Rule, wonderful
Right,
presentation. I'm right here. I was typing in the chat as we go along, but I'm right here
Thank
to answer any
you.
questions.
Right. So team Department of Student Financing is working to answer all the questions. So if there's anyone who's online to ask questions, that would be great also.
Thank you for such a great presentation, Terry.
You're welcome.
What we'll do is if you have any questions along the way, students, you can just type it in the chat. We'll have someone respond to you. And if later in the presentation you still have another question, feel free to type it in the chat, all right? So Terry, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
I hope I didn't miss out anything.
To answer your question, so she's not leaving us.
No, Mrs. Blair is going to be the person.
Right. And please make sure you make full use of the student work program, or as we call it, earn and study, where you actually come, you work, and you get paid. So in between classes, you can go do an hour or two, and you're paid per hour. I was once an earn and study student. You know, it's a good way to make change while you're on the campus. So thank you so much, Terry, for helping us to understand the student financing department and also the opportunities that are available. At this point, I'm going to invite Ms. Michaela Peck to guide us through navigating the online learning platforms. Now, as we have stated before, we are trying to condense and also to inform as best as possible. So some of our presentations, even if you have any questions or you believe that there's an area that, you know, probably that one I need a little more attention on, please type it in the chat. And please ensure that you make full use of all the opportunities available here, either through communication, finances, or otherwise. So Ms. Peck, are you ready for us? We'd like to know more about navigating the online learning platform. And as one of Jamaica's premier university, you know, the technology is something that you cannot escape. So let's help you get it right before you start. Ms. Peck.
All right, thanks for that, Mr. Wallace. Okay, good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, students. I am Michaela Peck from the Office of Distance Learning. So we are going to be looking at navigating UTech Online. And before I do that, what is really UTech Online? We want to delve into how to navigate it, but we want to address what UTech Online is first. So UTech Online is the University of Technology Jamaica's official learning management system. And on my screen there, you are seeing acronyms or alternate names that you might hear UTech Online being referred to as. So we have LMS, which stands for Learning Management System. Sorry, we have CMS, which stands for Content Management System. We have Moodle, which stands for Module Object Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. And we have UTech Online. So UTech Online is really the name we at the University of Technology Jamaica have customized Moodle to as part of our own rebranding. UTech Online, let's provide a definition. Now, it's really a learning platform and it is used to facilitate the process of teaching and learning within a blended or fully online modality of delivery. And you might be wondering, how do you access this platform? How do you access UTech Online? So it can be accessed in about 2 to 3 ways. I'll demonstrate shortly. You can access it directly from the university's official website, which is www.utech.edu.jm. You'll click on the student link and then you'll see the option presented to you. Or it can be accessed from the website's direct URL, that is UTech Online website direct URL, which is utechonline.utech.edu.jm. And I said before, this will be demonstrated towards the end of the session. So what are the capabilities of UTech Online? As students, what can we use this platform to do? How is it going to be used? So UTech Online is what I normally refer to as a comprehensive learning management system, simply because it imitates a classroom design model where under each unit or under each week, your lecturer will be able to present content to you as students in the online classroom all at the same time. So UTech Online is capable of doing a lot, and it's for that very reason why, I believe Moodle is being ranked as one of the best learning management systems being used by corporate and academic organizations globally. So with this learning management system, you will be able to, as students, participate in collaborative wikis, chat sessions, forum discussions, web conferencing sessions where you will have interactions through whiteboard, video sharing. You'll be able to enable your mic to speak to your lecturer. You will be able to do online workshops with your peers. Your teachers will engage you in educational games. You'll be able to give your responses through polling, so quite a lot. You'll also be able to upload your assignments online through the system. You'll be able to participate in feedback, submit questionnaires. You'll be able to take exams and quizzes online using this platform. So based on what I've just listed, you realize that there are opportunities for teacher-to-student communication, peer-to-peer collaboration. You'll be able to submit content, as I mentioned before, your assignments. You'll be able to acquire knowledge based on what your lecturer has presented to you, and your lecturer as well will be able to assess you. As a student, how can you familiarize yourself with UTech Online? So we have 2 online modules, one of which is called the Student Orientation module. And this was really designed to sensitize you as students to the different features and functionalities of UTech Online. And we also have another module called the Test Turnitin module. And essentially that is used where it allows you as students to upload your assignments for testing for plagiarism or similarity before you actually make a final submission of your assignment to your lecturer. Okay, now I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration of everything that I've just mentioned. Don't want to leave you in the dark, want you to have an idea of the aesthetics of the system, what it looks like, and how you can gain access to SAY. Now, I mentioned earlier, there are 2 ways of accessing the system. Now, the first way I'm going to demonstrate is through the university's official website, which can be accessed from the URL, as you're following from my screen, utech.edu.jm. All right, and once this page loads, top right, we have 3 links: student, staff, partners. You'll be clicking on students. Okay, and then we're following the middle column going down. We see a link that says e-learning, UTech Online, and more. You would click on that, and then we click on Moodle. All right, and the next way, which I believe is the quickest way, once you know the URL, you just enter it. It's utechonline.utech.edu.jm. Once that screen loads, you enter your username, which should be your ID number, and your password. Okay, so once you have successfully logged into this system, once you have gone through the process of module selection, your commitment fees paid, you have gone through the process of module selection, all the courses you are enrolled in, it will show on this dashboard. And not to worry, the dashboard can take a couple of seconds to launch or to load for the courses to be displayed. So for me, it's not quite loaded just yet. But once it loads, you'll be able to see all the courses that you are enrolled in, and the courses will be represented by names in a little card. So it's like a tabular view, as you can see here now. This is how the courses are represented. And of course, because you are enrolled to the course, it is shown on your dashboard, you just click on it to access it. All right, so you simply click and you gain access to the course. Okay, now, I had mentioned earlier that you can become more oriented or more familiar rather with the platform through a specific training module that we have online. All right, and this is for students. So to gain access or to locate rather that module within the UTech Online system, you simply look in the column to the left. If you're not seeing this column on your screen, you can click on the 3 lines top left of your screen, and that administration block will pop out. And we're going to be using the site home link just to search for the course. The name of the course is a student orientation course. So in this little field here, I will type in student orientation. All right, and once that screen loads, we can see the course. So the course is open. So as a student, you're not required to enter any passphrase or any enrollment key. Once you click on it, you will gain immediate access. All right, and this takes you through the basics to intermediate to advanced tasks that you need to learn to complete within the system. So it takes you through how to take a course in the system, how to participate in activities for content submission. So this involves, interacting in forums, uploading your assignments, how to participate in activities for collaboration. So this has to do with you collaborating in wikis, you being able to engage or being able to interact with your peers and even your lecturer using the chat system. All right, it looks at participating in activities for assessing your progress. And then at the end of the student orientation module, we have a little feedback evaluation form, which we always ask students to submit to because this helps to improve our offering of this particular course. Now, I also mentioned Turnitin, and this is very important because when you do your assignments, you want to ensure that it's very important when you are submitting and when you're putting together your assignment, just that it is your work that you are submitting. If it is that you are using a phrase from somebody else's work, referencing is very important. To ensure all of this, we recommend that students make a submission to Turnitin, which is a similarity/plagiarism detection tool, which searches your work and ensures that originality is there, or it checks for similarity from your work and compares it to another student's work or anybody else who has submitted to the Turnitin database to ensure that it shows a similarity index. If one is being shown, then you will see a percentage of similarity being picked up, and you will be able to make changes to your assignment before making your final submission to your lecturer. So we're going to be searching for that course, and we're going to be quickly looking through how you can use that course. So it's represented in the form of a course, but it's really a Turnitin test system. So just as how we did the search for this course, it's pretty much the same process. You use the administration block to your left, you click on Site, Home, and the name of the course is Turnitin Test Module, but for short, you can type in test, Turnitin as one word. All right, and of course, this course is open as well. You're not required to enter any password. It's open, so you click, and it's very important to read. And earlier presenter had emphasized the importance of reading. Once you're taking any course within the online system, within the space, it's very important to read. Don't just go ahead and make a submission, all right? So we ask that you read the different instructions that are given. We have a section which is really a PDF, which takes you through how to upload and test your paper, how to view the originality report that Turnitin returns. We also have resources, APA resources to guide you on how to cite, how to make references, and so on. Okay. So there is a section, I'm just going to quickly switch my role to student so you can get that perspective that you as a student as to how you would submit. All right, so at the bottom of this screen, we have 7 test spaces, and you'll be able to submit to each part of the test space 5 times, okay? So if I click on this, I'm basically required to enter the name of my assignment. All right, so when I click on that, I would click on, my screen is loading, just wait a little bit, right? So I would click on submit paper, which is the link seen here. All right, and I'd be asked to enter the title of my paper, and then from this link here, I would upload my paper. All right, so this is if I am looking to test my assignment for plagiarism before I actually make my submission to my lecturer. As well as you might realize that your lecturer creates a slot or a section in the course for you to test your paper. All right, so if that is there, you might use that, but if not, this is a very helpful resource for checking your paper before making a final submission to your lecturer. Okay, so I've come to the end of my presentation. I hope you are now, if you're a new student, or I know we have returning students, I hope that you are more equipped now as it relates to the system, the online learning management system that your lecturer might use to take you through as you complete your program. Take care, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. No, we thank you for your patience, and it has been a very, very informative session. We have had many presenters, but all good things must come to a pause. At this point, we are going to pause in our proceedings, and we're going to allow you to meet or get a closer relationship with your faculties and your colleges. Now, we had a presentation from an SLB. We will have to readjust and have it be presented to you in a different format for you all to benefit. But nonetheless, we do assure you that you will get the information you need. But the information you need right now is more specific to your course or courses of study. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ask Narda to explain to you how it is that you can get into the sessions designed by your faculties or by your colleges. So Narda, can you explain to our viewers and listeners as well how they can join the academic advisement sessions?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. And I just want to thank our new students, returning students. I want to thank you all so much for staying with us. And again, we do apologize for the late start. Now I'm going to share my screen just for the persons who are unaware of how it is that they can get to their academic advisement session after we wrap here. Now you go to the university's website, you will scroll, click on the student tab, and then you go to the enrollment section of the website, and you will go to the left of your screen below where it says student services and click on enrollment. Once you click on enrollment, it will take you to a page for our pre-registration forum. Below all the links for your academic advisement session is there. So when it takes you to the screen, to the right, you will see pre-registration forum. You click on that area and it will take you to the pre-registration forum webpage, and all the links for your college and faculty's academic advisement session is located there. And you can click on your college or faculty and it will allow you access to your online academic advisement session. So I will now turn back over to Mr. Wallace, who will just bring this forum to a close. Thank you very much for joining us. We have persons in the chat who are answering your questions, and you can always reach us at the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management. Or contact information is on the university's website. You can also reach your colleges and your faculties. Their contact information is also on the website. You will be meeting your program directors, academic advisors, as well as other officers within the colleges and faculties to whom you can turn to if you need any guidance as it relates to your enrollment, or even just your course of study and your time that you will spend with us here at UTech Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Hi, Narda, just in case, at least one person didn't get it, can you walk us through how we can benefit from the academic advisement session, please?
Okay, so academic advisement is very much important. It will tell you how to navigate your student life here. They will give you information on course-specific or course-related materials, what you'll be studying here, what is to be expected from our lecturers, from the university at large as well. Academic advisement is also important as you need to get the information on modules that you will be selecting throughout your lifetime here. And just to repeat, for anybody who missed it, enrollment will begin on the 8th of August, 2022. Classes should commence on the 29th of August as well. Repeating, the enrollment commitment deposit is to be paid before enrollment starts so that it will allow us to prepare the system for you for module selection. So I hope that was clear for anybody who missed it. This session will remain on our YouTube page, just as the sessions we had last year and the year before. So if you missed anything, if your friends or your family missed anything at all today, they can always visit the University of Technology Jamaica's YouTube page and just watch this session and bring themselves up to speed with anything at all that it is that you're not clear on. Also remember where you can find the enrollment video for anybody. You go onto the university's website, click on admissions. When you get to that page, you click on new and returning students, undergraduate checklist, and you will see the enrollment video right there. You watch it, it is very comprehensive. It covers any challenge you might experience in module selection. It will tell you how to navigate your module selection process. So that's also very important.
Thank you very much, Narda. And at this point, I would like to bring the first session to a close. We're going to ask if you can just make your way over to your advisees. Well, advisors, my apologies. They're actually waiting on you. So, you go to the university's website, you click students in the upper right-hand corner, then you click enrollment, which is listed in the right corner. And once you do that, you will see pre-registration form. When you click that, you will see a number of links that will direct you directly to the faculty or college that you're a part of. You click that and you're there face-to-face, space-to-space with your faculty advisors. Now we're going to ask you to pay keen attention to the sessions. They're going to teach you a lot of things that you need to learn to make sure that you graduate. And we want you to graduate and have a great experience. Now, my name is Valdemar Wallace. It has been my pleasure being the moderator for this session. I know we didn't get the perfect start, but we had the most perfect ending. And at this point, I will shamelessly ask you to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram. What is the other one? We have YouTube. I'm also on, for those persons who are much older, I'm on Facebook. And for those persons who are not quite sure if they're old or young, I'm on Twitter. So I'm everywhere. So again, have a wonderful afternoon. If you see me on campus, call to me in the public, call to any member of staff. Our job is to make sure that your experience here is a great one. And if you don't feel like you're having a great one, find one of us and tell us. So again, on behalf of the entire team, have a wonderful afternoon, and we hope you enjoy the upcoming session. Thank you.
In recognition of the high quality of our programs and the excellent quality assurance mechanisms, the University of Technology Jamaica has been awarded institutional accreditation from the University Council of Jamaica.
This confirms that our courses are at an international standard. Graduates can seamlessly gain employment and further their studies locally and abroad.
At UTech, we remain committed to excellence in education, and we look forward to a bright future. Join us.
Apply today. The University of Technology Jamaica, the birthplace of greatness.